Live on a beautiful, sunny Thursday afternoon / early evening. It is the final Guardians post-game edition of the Bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. And a great run at the end of the regular season, a run that we never expected, postseason games that we never expected, in the end with heartbreak. As you see the final there, the Guardians lose the third and final game of their American League wildcard series to the Tigers by a final of 6-3. A heartbreaking loss in what was a terrible season for 5 months, a great season for 1 month, a great night last night, early hope in this game, and it all goes away with a terrible inning. Yesterday, it was one terrible inning from the Tigers. Today, it was the Guardians in that seventh inning. First, Dylan Dingler hits the home run in the sixth. First, he throws out Jose Ramirez in the fourth. So the Guardians tie up the game. Ramirez comes through with the hit. He gets caught stealing on an absolutely perfect throw by Dylan Dingler. Then Dingler breaks the 1-1 tie with a solo shot in the sixth to give the Tigers a lead they would not relinquish. Dylan Dingler, who's from Massillon, local kid, grew up a Guardians fan. He is the hero. Those two plays were huge, and obviously the Guardians with a big 4 spot in the top of the seventh against the bullpen that once again this year overworked. Sobrowski and Gaddis combined to allow 6 base runners in 2/3 of an inning, and they give up 4 runs. I would have left Cantillo in longer. I didn't know what the rush was to take him out after he gives up the 1 home run, but it is what it is. Slade Ciccone came out of the game pretty quick. Cantillo, I thought was pitching, pretty well. There's no patience at all in the playoffs, but we'll never know. Now, one other thing, obviously the Guardians' last hope at a comeback was in the 8th inning, and I know a lot of people are talking about this in the 8th inning, and I have some thoughts here. So, in the bottom of the 8th, the Guardians get runners at second and third with only 1 out. Rocchio singles, Kwan doubles. Valera then strikes out on a called strike 3. It was a close pitch, but Valera, you can't take. He just took the pitch before, which was borderline. You can't take 2 in a row. Now, Jose Ramirez hits a ground ball, which should have been an out to end the inning with no runs. But the throw from Torkelson goes off the glove of Vest, gets away. Rocchio and Kwan score. And I know a lot of people, because of the result, were like, why did Jose go to second? That was stupid. Why did he go? The problem wasn't that he went to second. The problem was that, and again, you can count the number of times I've criticized Jose on my hand, but it's a minor. Listen, the Guardians are very likely losing this game anyway. Let's be honest about it. But as Jose's running the second, he grabs his helmet. You're the king of the helmet falling off. Zach Meisel keeps track of it. Why are you worried about grabbing your helmet? That has to slow you down a tiny bit. And then, shockingly, go back and watch the replay. I don't know. I'm watching. Let me see the one on MLB.com. I'm going to watch it right now, see if they show it. But Jose, as he's rounding first, so he rounds first. He took a wide turn, which wasn't great. Then he holds his helmet, and you can see it. Let me go back again because I just want to make sure I'm right about this. As he's a quarter of the way to first, maybe a third, he turns around to look at where the ball is. Jose, you're putt committed at that point. You're going to second. So between holding the helmet and turning around, even if that cost him a half a second, those two things, that was enough. They called him safe originally. It's a bang-bang play. It was a great throw by Vest, a great tag by Javi Baez. And Javi had a great series, and he made a great snap tag to get the play. And now I'm watching the whole thing again. So Jose, again, bad turn, unlike him. I know he didn't expect it to get loose, but he's got to cut that corner better. It just wasn't a good turn. I'll give him a little pass on that. But the grabbing the helmet and then the looking back, we can't have that. Now, listen, it would have been runner on second, 2 outs. I don't want. You know what? I just can't kill Jose on this too much. I know he didn't have a great series overall, but the reality is they were not going to win the game. But you never know. Manzardo was on deck. He didn't have much of a series, but crazy things could have happened. And obviously the Guardians go 1-2-3 in the ninth. I was going to say I don't know why they pitched Cade Smith in the ninth, but I guess it doesn't matter. 1-2-3 in the ninth, ground out. Guardians used 8 pitchers in this game. Almost everybody got out there. And they lose by a final of 6-3. Just 6 hits in the game for the Guardians. They scored 10 runs total in the 3 games. It's not enough. And they lose the series to the Tigers 6-3. Kwan had a hit and a run scored. Valera hit and a run scored. Jose an RBI single. DeLauder had his first major league hit. Good for him. That's nice. Gabriel Arias got a hit, and Rocchio got a hit and scored a run. Valera, the only extra base hit with the Kwan had an extra base. Also had a double in that 8th inning. And that'll do it. I mean, that's it. So it's heartbreaking. I'm sure in the chat right now everybody's losing their mind. I will say this. I'll have more thoughts on the season as a whole next week. And Zach Meisel and I will do an Ultimate Guardian show tonight, probably 8:30 or 9 o'clock. And we'll also talk about the game and the series. And we'll do more. And we'll do another show next week and talk more about the season. And then certainly, next week we'll get into the offseason as well and what the plan is. And front office and ownership deserve a ton of blame for the fact that this lineup is not good enough. But I do want to say that at least for today, I still think I don't want to lose sight of the fact that the players and the coaching staff, led by Stephen Vogt, did a great job down the stretch. Great job. And I didn't expect none of us expected the Guardians to make the playoffs, and it was a lot of fun down the stretch. It sucks. Every year you don't win, it sucks. We all thought they'd have a good chance. I thought they would win this series. I was completely convinced. Even at 2-1, I still thought they were going to win the game. Obviously, once it went to 6-1, I gave up hope. But I felt good about it all day. I felt good about this series every day. And I still think there was some positives to this season and things that I'm excited about for next season. There's no doubt about it. And I think the players individually deserve credit for not quitting, for kicking ass down the stretch and making an incredible run to make the playoffs. And there's a lot of good things about this team, but not enough. And ownership, the Dolan family has to decide, are they committed to this team winning? I've been critical of the family quite a bit. And deservedly so. But there are positives to this ownership, right? They generally hire good people, and they stay out of their way. I like that. There's stability in this organization. That's a good thing. But sometimes there's too much stability. I think that's what's happened here. I said during the season that I think it's time for a shakeup in the organization. And even though they made a great run at the end of the season, it doesn't change my mind. This pains me to say. I like Chris Antonetti. I like Mike Chernoff. I know Mike personally. I've talked with them both personally. I work for Mike Chernoff's dad. It makes my skin crawl to say that I think it's time for them to move on. They'll get jobs easily. They're good at what they do. But I think sometimes, like with coaches, after a while, it becomes an echo chamber. And I think this organization, there's too many guys thinking the exact same way. And the offense has been anemic for close to a decade at this point. Am I excited about the potential of Kyle Manzardo, of Chase DeLauder, of Travis Bazzana, of George Valera? I am. But outside of Manzardo, none of it's proven. And Kafis, none of it's proven. It's an awkward fit because they're all like corner outfielders / DHs, first baseman. And we've waited on all these guys for so long. Rocchio, despite some playoff moments, has mostly been a disappointment. Arias, the same thing. on and on and on. And so, again, as much as it pains me to say it, I do stand by what I said earlier this season, that I think you need a major shakeup in this organization. The patience of ownership is a good thing. The lack of spending is a terrible thing. Now, David Blitzer is the minority owner of this team. He has the right to buy this team. I believe in the next 2 years he has to become the majority owner if he wants it. I really believe it's time for the Dolans to sell, and I'd like to see David Blitzer buy this team. And I'd like him to show, from a non-spending standpoint, a lot of the good things that the Dolans did, which is hiring good people, staying out of their way, and being patient. But I think we've gone too far with this organization. So I would hopefully David Blitzer will fully buy the team. I would shake it up in the front office. I would shake it up with the entire hitting structure of this team. I would fire everybody in the organization involved in hitting development. Okay? And Bobby there says, bullish crazy, no GM has done more with less. Ultimately, the Guardians, right, have what, one series win beyond the wild card round since 2016? It's not good enough. Mike Chernoff and Chris Antonetti are good, but they've been here forever. I think it's time for a change. It's not an easy decision. It's not an obvious decision. It probably won't happen. And if it doesn't happen, I understand. I'm just telling you what I would do if I were David Blitzer. I'd want some new voices in the organization. Now, maybe that's just completely overhauling the offense. I said I was going to wait till next week to do all this, but here we go. Maybe that's just firing everybody organizationally from the offensive development standpoint. They made changes last year, but they stayed within the organization. What they're doing within the organization is not working. This team has showed no ability to develop hitters. Pitching, great. Carl Willis, pitching infrastructure, phenomenal. Keep it all. It's time for a change. And that may be the front office. I doubt it. It might be the hitting infrastructure. It's definitely the hitting infrastructure. I'm worried that none of that's going to happen. That it's going to be the same old thing. And they've got to spend money. You've got to spend money this offseason. Last year, I banged on the table to sign Gleyber Torres. He had a great season for the Tigers. My guy this year is going to be Pete Alonso. And I understand that Pete Alonso is going to cost more than Gleyber Torres. But Pete Alonso is 31 years old. He's a first baseman. Nobody offered him a massive contract last year, or he would have signed last year when he was a free agent. He re-signed the Mets. He had an opt-out. He's going to opt out. He already said it. They need to add a proven stud power hitter in the middle of the lineup. That's Pete Alonso. Offer him 3 years. Give him a massive 3-year contract. Massive. 3 for $120. Let's go. 3 for $120. Pay him $40 million a year to hit bombs. Let him hit 40 bombs a year for the Mets, for the Guardians, the next 3 years. You put him in that 4 spot right behind Jose. Then the young guys right after him. Let's go. Pete Alonso hit 41 home runs this past season. 31 the year before, 21 the year before that, but, 27 before that, 27 before that. I thought he had hit 40 once before this year, but he hadn't. But, oh, no, wait a second. I was looking at doubles. Okay, that didn't make any sense. So he had 30, I'm a doofus. He had 38 homers this year, 34 last year, 46 in 2023. I was like, I know he's at 40. 40 in 2022, 37 in 2021, 16 in the 60-game COVID season, and 53 as a rookie in 2019. Just ridiculous. This guy is a home run hitting machine. A home run hitting machine. Career batting average 253 for a power hitter, on base 341, career OPS 857. Let's go. Give him a 4-year deal. I know it's going to be a lot of money per year. And I don't know if he had any interest to even consider coming to Cleveland. But this is the type of guy the Guardians need to. And I don't want to hear they can't afford him. They have a shit payroll. They've had a shit payroll for a decade. Let's fucking go. Put him at first base. That's it. Yeah, you split time at first base and DH between Alonso and Manzardo. You move Quan to center. You have DeLauder play left. You have Valera, and Kafis for right field /DH/ first base occasionally. Get them 350 to 450 at bats a year. You play Bazan at second, Jose at third. Rocchio or Arias at short. I could live with it if I get Alonso. Go get a legitimate other catcher to platoon with Bo Naylor. Like a solid major league catcher who can hit a little bit. Doesn't that be great? Just to be solid. Not Austin Hedges who can't hit. And the only money you're spending is on Alonso and, a couple extra mil on. Now, listen, think about this, all right? Let me go to the payroll here. Let's go to the payroll. And I know he said they're not going to sign Alonso. They're probably not, but they should. All right, here we go. So, because I know you got Santana coming off the payroll. All right. Let me look at it. 2026. Santana comes off the payroll. That's $12 million. Lane Thomas off the payroll. That's $8 million. So that's 20. Shane Bieber off the payroll. That's $30 million. Paul Sewald off the payroll. $36 million. I don't know about Clase. I'll say he's off the payroll. That's $41 million. Jacob Junis, $45 million. Austin Hedges, $49 million. That's $49 million. That's half their payroll coming off next year. $49 million, $49 to $50 million off the payroll. Now who's getting a raise? Jose goes up $2 million. So that knocks you down to 47. All right. Tanner Bybee gets a little more money, another $1 million. That knocks you down to 46. Trevor Steffen, who's hurt, they could non-tender him. I'm not even going to count him. And then you get arbitration for a couple of guys, nobody making a ton of money. The Guardians are going to have $45 million to spend. $45 million. Spend some effing money. I don't care if they spend it all. Spend a ton on Alonso, get another good catcher, sign a veteran bullpen guy, and let's fucking go. The rest is all young guys. You're not spending any money. The Guardians have, if Clase is still suspended, if he's still suspended, the Guardians, Jose Ramirez is the only player on this roster that is going to make more than $4.4 million. If Clase is able to play next year, he'll be the second highest paid player at 6.4. Jose's getting 21. Clase 6.4 if he's here. Stephen Kwan will probably get. Stephen Kwan's arbitration eligible, so he'll probably make $7-8 million next year. So he'll be the second highest paid player. Bybee's getting 4.4. Ben Lively's getting $2-3 million if he's here. Everybody else is making $2-3 million or less. You are paying nobody besides Jose Ramirez. It's time to break out the checkbook. You know what? I got to look more through my free agents, but the Guardians really should get Pete Alonso and spend money in another place. And if Clase is suspended, let's say his career is over, which is possible, then go get so here's the best free agents next year. Kyle Tucker, he's going to get crazy millions. You're not signing him. Alex Bregman, no. Want to get crazy? Go sign Kyle Schwarber. I don't know that people can handle that, but if he's hitting home runs for you, you might like it. So, but probably not realistic. Bo Bichette, he's going to cost a ton of money. He's in the prime of his career. Pete Alonso, like I said. Of course, MLB.com says potential fits, Giants, Mets, Red Sox. Michael King, don't need a starter. Bellinger, I don't like the fit. Cease, don't need a starter. Suarez, I don't want to spend money on a starter. Like, let's, I don't know what relievers are out there. Who else is some guys I could be interested in for this team? I'll look at it. No, Trent Grisham. If you wanted to stick with, no, I don't want Trent Grisham. Pete Alonso's the guy I want. Emilio Pagan. I kind of like him to add to the bullpen mix. Go sign JT Realmuto. How much could he cost at this point? He's old. At 34, have him platoon with Bo Naylor. Nice veteran catcher that can actually hit. And Gleyber Torres is a free agent again. Sign him. I said that last year. Sign him this year. Anyway. Well, folks, I appreciate you joining me on all these post-game shows here down the stretch and into the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Guardians lose. Mr. King wants my World Series prediction. I think it's going to be, the Mariners should get to the World Series. I don't have a ton of faith in them. They're really the best team. All right, I'm going to show a little crazy faith in them. I'm going to say Mariners, Phillies. I'm going to say the Phillies win the World Series, beating the Mariners. Justin says, why don't you do a Cubs show if they win? I hope they win. I haven't been able to watch it here. They were up 2-0 last I checked. It's still 2-0. All right, good. Now I don't have to get into that awkward situation. Not that the Cubs are going to the World Series, but, Anyway, they're up 2-0 in the fifth. I hope the Red Sox win tonight. I don't want the Yankees getting out of the first round. I really don't. I want the Yankees losing early. I just can't. I can't have the Yankees. Plus I'll be honest, I made a bet with my nephew Ian, he's 16. He's a big Yankees fan. We bet on who would go further in the playoffs, the Cubs or the Yankees. So, and by the way, the Cubs are just doing crazy shit now. They took Jamison Tyone started for the Cubs today. He went 4 innings. He threw just 60 pitches, gave up 2 hits and no walks, struck out 4, and they pulled him out. And listen, I know he's not a great pitcher. He's a solid pitcher. Not great. You're up 2-0. I don't like that. Why are you pulling the guy in this situation? And it's the bottom of the lineup for the Padres, too. Let him get through the 5th at least. Bring in your reliever when Tatis in the top and Machado and Arise in the top of the lineup comes up. I don't know. What do I know? All right. Well, at least he got the first batter out. Thanks, everybody, for joining me today. I will be back on the air tonight. Zach and I will do the final in-season Ultimate Guardian show. I'll let you know what time. Check out my Twitter. I texted Zach, but obviously he's busy right now. I'd say 8:30, 9 o'clock will be up on UCSS. Tomorrow, I got 3 shows. I'll be on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show from 11 to 1, of course. I will be on Betting Weekly Hardball tomorrow at 2 p.m. and Betting Weekly The Edge with Dustin and Doug Kazarian tomorrow as well. And then on Sunday, after the Browns play the Vikings in Minnesota, I will be on shortly after the game. The Browns play at 9:30. I also have a fall league completion of a suspended game at 9:30. We're tied 9-9 going to the 7th. So hopefully we'll win that game quickly. I come home, watch the Browns. If we win that game, we go to the championship Sunday night at 4. Do the Browns, then go do the other game. So Anyway, everybody have a nice night. I know it sucks. This is a bummer. I was looking forward to doing a lot more of these shows and having some fun. If you got to the Mariners, it could have been an interesting series, and we would have had some late nights up together. But anyway, it wasn't meant to be. Maybe next year, right? We've been saying that with the Guardians forever. Enjoy whatever you're going to watch tonight. I don't know. You're going to watch the Cubs and Padres? You're going to watch the Yankees? I don't know. Let's go Red Sox. Let's go Cubs. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you in the bullpen on Sunday at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. Until then, thanks to Max and Z for producing. We'll talk to you next time. Where else but right here in the bullpen with Adam the Bull, brought to you by Bet Rivers. See you, everybody.